Well, welcome along to live Premier League coverage. It is 6th place Crystal Palace hosting Manchester United, who are in 12th today and have an opportunity to move up the table if they're able to beat Palace here away from home. And we're off and running at Selhurst Park. Well, Manchester United coming out the back of that disappointing defeat at home against Everton. 10 men Everton too were absolutely pumped by Newcastle yesterday 4-1 at home. So Crystal Palace, having shaken off their defeat midweek against Strasbourg in the Conference League, will be looking to put one over Manchester United. With Oliver Glasner's record against Manchester United has been pretty damn good in the last 4 games, winning 3, keeping clean sheets in 4 of the last 4 encounters. Here's Manchester United with a bit of a change here. There's a chance for an early chance. Oh, they don't get the ball into the back of the net. And it's nearly Casemiro who gets his shot away. Dean Henderson happy to just smother the ball away. Long throw in there. De Ligt got his header. And Mbeumo with the deflection. Oh, that was very close, Casemiro nearly smuggling that one in. Here's Joshua Zirkzee, who will be starting ahead of Benjamin Šeško, who's missed quite a bit of time because of that knee injury. Palace in their 3-4-3 shape. Both teams pretty much cancel each other out in terms of the shape there, but Palace has so much more balance. The back three of Richards, Maxence Lacroix and the captain Mark Gahey. Brilliant from Mateta, just nearly ragdolling De Ligt there on that occasion. Here's San Lamens. Goes for that long clearance. Munoz heads that well. Ismail Assar, Adam Wharton. Here's Diogo Dalot with the interception. Mason Mount quickly clips that to Joshua Zirkzee, who makes the ball stick. Fernandes switches it up nicely to Amad Diallo on the right-hand side. Well, Diallo playing as right wing-back and Mbeumo as the right number 10. Mason Mount, of course, the left-sided number 10 without Mateus Cunha or Benjamin Šeško. Manchester United having to recalibrate their attack. Here's Matthijs de Ligt. Well, United went on a 5-game unbeaten run, which was ended last Monday after Everton put the job on them. 3 wins and 2 draws. Just felt that maybe, just maybe, Manchester United might be turning the corner, but those talks were immediately shut down. Here's Amad Diallo, who is lost out the ball there. Might be a foul. He's very fortunate there. Tyreek Mitchell with the foul. But Manchester United making just the 2 changes from that defeat at Everton. Of course, Crystal Palace played on Thursday night, and now with that early kickoff on Sunday, just showing you that Casemiro came very, very close to open the scoring. Dean Henderson, of course, formerly of Manchester United colours, celebrating that early save. Brilliant there from Ismail Assar on the right-hand side. Here's Fernandes. Assar has not gotten up yet. Might be a rough challenge. Bruno Fernandes possibly doing the right thing there to stop that. It was a slight challenge on Ismail Assar, who's still on the ground here. Senegalese international. Let's have a look here. Ooh, it's a lunging challenge there by Diogo Dalot right in front of the linesman. Might be an awkward landing rather than the contact on it. Sarr has not gotten up. This is not a good sign here for Crystal Palace. And number 7 still on the ground. Might be that awkward landing where he just hyperextends that area between his shin and his ankle. Oliver Glasner will be hoping that he's okay to continue here. Well, last 4 games against Manchester United, Glasner's won 3 of them. You can see why some of the Manchester United fans possibly want Oliver Glasner to replace Ruben Amorim at some point. But Glasner with his wing backs will really stretch the pitch here and try and make that as difficult as possible for Manchester United. There was a chance there for Casemiro. Made a bit of contact there on the shin and then somehow, just somehow, kept that out. Casemiro is known to score goals in the box, especially with set pieces. He does have that eye for goal, doesn't he? Some Manchester United fans would have been hoping that maybe Ruben Amorim would have rung in few more changes to the side that was so limp against Everton at home. 10 men Everton, mind you. Really is unacceptable, isn't it, when you're especially on that run where you just want to build some momentum and you drop that kind of a performance on a Monday night. Luke Shaw and Mason Mount on that left-hand side with Diogo Dalot. Might be slightly imbalanced there with Dalot as the wing-back. Momentum. Here's Luke Shaw. Manchester United trying to get a bit of possession in the opposition half. Here's Mason Mount. Dalot back to Mount. So 5 minutes on the clock. Manchester United with the best chance of the match so far. Here's Dalot again. Again, he will provide width on that left-hand side, but he can't whip the ball in first time. Clever pass there. Good defending there by Maxence Lacroix. Corner for Manchester United. Decent start for the away side. Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro in that midfield area. Trusted once again ahead of Kobbie Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte. They've got no game time for Manchester United this season. I think the last time they started was that away defeat against Grimsby in the League Cup. Bruno Fernandes ready to take this corner. Good whip on the ball there. Aiming for De Ligt, the header. He's pushed away there by Dean Henderson. Munoz trying to lead the counter-attack. I think Adam Wharton was puzzled with that pass. Felt that it should have been a lot more accurate, but it was awkward there for the Colombian wing-back. Daniel Munoz and Tyreek Mitchell, so crucial to the system for Oliver Glasner. You see that Manchester United and Ruben Amorim were complaining about the lack of their wing-backs and the quality that they have. No such problems for Crystal Palace. Clever pass there by Adam Wharton, finds Yeremy Pino. Here's Richards. What's up, Manny? How are you, bro? The guns are always out. Sun's out, guns out. You know it. You know it. Here's Wharton. Clever pass there for Mateta into the channel. Oh, brilliant bit of skill there from Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's in the box. He's got options. Mateta strike! And it's hit the side netting. He had options, decided to go for goal himself. Jean-Philippe Mateta with a lovely touch here. Look at the way he just gets away from De Ligt. Eases out. Oh, De Ligt, that's very poor from him. And then he had an opportunity for the pass. Instead, hits the side netting instead. Early warning shot fired at San Lamens here. Oliver Glasner will be slightly disappointed with the decision-making of his number 9. But Jean-Philippe Mateta really is elevating his levels every time he steps out of the pitch for Crystal Palace. 28 years of age, now having that peak of his career. Here's Luke Shaw. And you want to see how Manchester United progress the ball out from the back. Oh, Luke Shaw, that is very poor. Been put under pressure. Matthijs de Ligt, Manchester United, not able to get out so far. San Lamens forced to go long. Again, Richards wins the header. Lacroix is very aggressive there and he wins it. Brilliant there from Crystal Palace. Just quick passes to get away from the Manchester United press. Oh, Kamada with a hectic ball there. Well dealt with by Dean Henderson. Decides to go long. Again, Philippe Mateta with the header. Luke Shaw had to be attentive to it. Oh, that's an errant pass here. Mason Mount shifts it onto the right-hand side. Here's Amad Diallo. Brian Mbeumo. Casemiro with a clever turn. Brilliant from Casemiro. Kamada a bit rash there. Lunging in onto the Brazilian. It's a foul and a free kick for Manchester United. Well, of course, there are some heavy games coming up on Super Sunday. West Ham host the league champions Liverpool in a must-win game for Arne Slot. And of course, at 10 p.m. India time, we've got the blockbuster clash between top-of-the-table Arsenal coming to Stamford Bridge as they play Chelsea. We'll be covering that, that's for sure. Cannot wait for the kickoff of that game. Free kick for Manchester United. We've seen them use their set pieces to their advantage so far. Bruno Fernandes. Captain's armband different role for him this season, like it was last, where he's part of the midfield pivot rather than the number 10 as Bruno Fernandes delivers. Good ball into the box. The header's just off target. Is that Casemiro again? It is. Casemiro gets into these excellent positions, attacking the ball into the box. And with 10 minutes on the clock, the two best chances of the match has fallen to Casemiro. Good ball in there by Bruno Fernandes. It has all the pace and the whip on it. But Casemiro's header well off target. Two decent chances here for Casemiro. Crystal Palace need to defend a lot better in the box, especially against Casemiro. Ruben Amorim, with his best period at the club, really, with that 3 victories on the spin and then the 2 draws. Mount, Xerxes, better there from Manchester United, trying to make the ball stick in the attacking third. Speaking of making the ball stick, brilliant there from Mateta. Finds Daniel Munoz. Decides to go back to Dean Henderson. Well, Crystal Palace put out a strong lineup against Strasbourg on Thursday, losing 2-1 away in France. Very quick turnaround for them. Manchester United had the entire week really to prepare and be ready for this. Selhurst Park, though, one of the toughest away grounds. Here's Tyreek Mitchell. Mark Gahey. Well, Mark Gahey was poised to join Liverpool in the summer. Palace are 6th. Liverpool are what, 11th if I'm not mistaken? Some would say he made the right decision, but really did want to join Liverpool in the summer. See whether or not Liverpool do go after him at some point. Here's Munoz. Finds Sarr. Here's Adam Wharton. Good pass, trying to make it stick to Yeremy Pino. This is excellent football here from Crystal Palace. Tyreek Mitchell with the ball in. And it's a slight clearance there by Lenny Yoro. Yoro had to be attentive because that was an excellent maneuver there from Crystal Palace. Again, it just sticks with the forward players. And once they turn, they can really fire those balls into the box. Just over 12 minutes on the clock. Crystal Palace have had a relatively slow start to the game, but you can completely understand that considering they had midweek assignments. Jean-Philippe Mateta is already looking gassed here. He's got his hand on his hips, breathing heavy. It's just 12 minutes on the clock, Mateta. Richards with the throw. Good trajectory on it. Gets the header. Wharton from distance. It's straight at Lemens. On his weaker right foot, he strikes that well, but the ball falls to him so kindly. Manchester United not marking him there on his right foot. He hits it well either side of Lemens, and you're probably looking at the opening goal. Huge let off there for Manchester United. Again, it's been all about the set pieces so far for both teams. Nothing from open play. Again, Mbeumo just muscled off the ball. Here's Yeremy Pino. Good play there by Luke Shaw, but then Crystal Palace win the ball back. And it was Mark Gahey who had made the run on the right-hand side. Can't find him there. It's straight back to San Lamens. Manchester United in open play have to be a lot more encouraging, a lot more braver here. They're in 12th, and if they win today, they find themselves in 6th position ahead of Crystal Palace. Of course, there are other teams who have to play, but if Manchester United can win this one, really will set them up nicely. Lose this and back-to-back defeats. Could be very hectic for Ruben Amorim. It seems that Ruben Amorim is pretty much Teflon here. Despite all the performances that they've dropped, despite how low they are in the table, doesn't seem to be under pressure from the ownership. Munoz finds Henderson. Decides to go long. Amad Diallo is lost out there. Kamada. Good play there. Japanese international alongside Adam Wharton in the midfield pivot. You thought that Adam Wharton was really making progress in terms of knocking on the door and starting for England, but the emergence of Elliot Anderson. Oh, that might have fallen to Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's pulled it wide. Oh, that is a terrible finish from the French international. The ball breaks so kindly to him. He's bearing down on goal and he has to score. Well, De Ligt has had a pretty much nightmare there. Deflects against Lenny Yoro. Holds off the challenge and he has to score. Jean-Philippe Mateta pulls wide. And Oliver Glasner has seen his number 9 have two wasteful opportunities in front of goal. Again, a let-off there for Manchester United. 15 minutes on the clock. Haven't played any football really in the first quarter. Decent ball in there by Mbeumo to Amad Diallo. Again, look at the way the Crystal Palace players fired up, closing down spaces. Gary Lineker in the crowd today, no longer the host of Match of the Day. Now has a lot more free time to enjoy and watches ex-clubs in action. Throw in here for Manchester United. It's Diogo Dalot flings that one in, cleared away by Mark Gahey. Luke Shaw is far too casual then. It's very fortunate that it had an awkward bounce to it. Manchester United just looking a bit lackadaisical here, especially in their defensive setup. We've seen Matthijs de Ligt have a couple of moments which have been iffy considering the quality that he has. Again, de Ligt taking his time, not being pressed here. Luke Shaw clips that into the area, asking a lot from Joshua Zirkzee. Does pretty well there, but again, he's just crowded out. The ball to Zirkzee has to be better. He's playing against 3 centre-halves. He's not going to get much joy here. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Immediately goes out to the switch. Brilliant ball there from Bruno Fernandes. Here's Amad Diallo. Outside of the boot pass for Bryan Mbeumo. Last touch comes off the Cameroonian. Was a bit disappointed with that. Has to be careful there because those kind of reactions might get you yellow cards. The referee, he will give a yellow card. That is very poor there. I mean, I can understand the anger, but that is a nothing reaction really. And to pick up a yellow card for it, it's not like he's thrown the ball away. He's just hit that on the ground in anger. That's it. I mean, to give a yellow card for that, the game's gone, isn't it? Yellow card for Bryan Mbeumo, who'll have to play the game on a tightrope now. 17.5 minutes on the clock here. Crystal Palace will be happy with the way that they've started, but two big opportunities fell to their number 9, Jean-Philippe Mateta. On both occasions, one was at the side netting and one pulled wide. Good header there to win it on the left-hand side. Casemiro showcasing his experience there on Yeremy Pino. How well has Yeremy Pino just slotted in and replaced Ebre Eze? I mean, Palace fans not missing Eze is a huge thing, considering how well the number 10 has just seamlessly slotted in. Quality player, the Spaniard. Corner here for Crystal Palace. It's been all about the set pieces so far. Comes into the box, the header. There was a chance there. Well, Chris Richards was attacking. Finds its way to Diogo Dalot on the left-hand side. Here's Bryan Mbeumo, who's got pace and might look to take on Chris Richards. Plays it short to Joshua Zirkzee. Good play there by Zirkzee. Again, Manchester United, poor control there by Amad Diallo. He's got the ball back. He's been eased out of the way there by Daichi Kamara. Supreme play there, and then he's played the channel ball onto the right-hand side for Ismaila Sarr, who's got a bit of space here. Sarr with the cutback, well defended there by Matthijs de Ligt. Comes across and concedes yet another corner. Well, Manchester United have been opened up with ease here. A couple of balls, and United are looking very shaky here. Amad Diallo just eased off the ball there, right in front of the referee, shoulder to shoulder. This is a very good ball into the channel onto the right-hand side. Ismaila Sarr generally makes the right decision in the final third. On that occasion, corner here for Crystal Palace will be Adam Wharton, who shuffles across here. Left-footed in-swinger, delivers it well into the box. Keepers and no man's land there. It's cleared away somehow by Manchester United. Put back into a dangerous area. Richards' header. Keeper stays again. Last touch might have come off the United play. It has. It's another corner for Crystal Palace. United under the pump here. You can see a real battle happening in the box, and Richards having got there. Real mystery as to how he didn't get his header on target on both occasions, really. And that's why you can sense his disappointment there. Another corner from Crystal Palace will be the right foot of Yeremy Pino. Third corner for Crystal Palace. Manchester United in the 20 minutes have looked second best. Another ball into the box. Headers not on target. Is just over the crossbar. Maxence Lacroix getting across his marker. Just trying to use the pace of the ball and direct that on target. Just over the crossbar. And out for a goal kick for Manchester United. Good leap there by the Frenchman. Getting away from the challenge of Lenny Yoro. Lenny Yoro has to jump there or put a bit more pressure. He was out-muscled there by Maxence Lacroix. San Lamens has had just the one save to make of Adam Wharton. Just straight at him. Manny, what's the score? I saw India were like 340. Kohli century. I haven't followed since then. Good header there by Mason Mount, but again, not enough to try and trouble. But Crystal Palace showing no such European hangovers here. Having played Thursday night, have played with real intensity, and full credit to Oliver Glasner to get his team up for this one. No excuse of midweek assignments. Go out there and get the 3 points. Sixth position before the start of kickoff. Opportunity to climb up the table here for Crystal Palace. What a job Oliver Glasner has done. I mean, getting silverware. Beating Liverpool in the Community Shield as well. Oh, Adam Wharton loses out here. Brian Mbeumo. Poor pass there to try and find Joshua Zirkzee. United in the final third. Need to take care of the ball a whole lot better. Oh, Casemiro nearly gets robbed off the ball. Again, Manchester United almost just hitting in hope here. Richards muscled out. Dalot has been fouled. A needless foul there by Crystal Palace. Daniel Munoz just trying to show his eagerness to get the ball. It's another set-piece opportunity here for Crystal Palace, and considering Manchester United have created very little in open play to give them these needless free kicks. Isn't very bright there by the Colombian. Well, halfway through the first half, Manchester United relying on set pieces. Having another opportunity here. The right foot of Bruno Fernandes, the left of Brian Mbeumo. Look at the right foot of Bruno Fernandes here. They've got De Ligt, Yoro as the main primary targets, but Casemiro is the most dangerous one. That's for sure. It is Bruno Fernandes who lets that go for Brian Mbeumo's ball in. Oh, it's a poor ball there by the Cameroonian. Easily cleared. It's in the air. Zirkzee wins the header, but easily gathered by Dean Henderson. Formerly of Manchester United colours. Did start a run of games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Of course, they had David De Gea as their goalkeeper at that time. Dean Henderson decided to move to fresher pastures. And he's become the number one at Crystal Palace. Kamada's header. Again, if Daniel Munoz lets that go, you can see the run that was made by Ismail Assar. Again, Casemiro pushes that forward. Poor pass there by Casemiro. Kamada to Wharton. Beautiful football here by Crystal Palace. Oh, that's a foul there, surely. Ismail Assar. Kamada's effort. It's on target. But doesn't have the venom to get that past San Lamens. Manchester United being opened up again. Wharton's pass is brilliant. That's a yellow card on Casemiro. That's for sure. Kamada just using the pace on the cross. I'll be very surprised if Casemiro has not picked up a yellow card for it. It was a late challenge on Adam Wharton. Crystal Palace are getting real attempts here. Manchester United have 2 shots on target too, but haven't been as venomous in terms of real chances created. Here's Luke Shaw again going long here. Manchester United showing absolutely no appetite in terms of building out the back. Richards with the header back, well cushioned to Dean Henderson. Into the 25th minute. Just looks like familiar territory, isn't it, for Manchester United? It's been a real hard watch under Ruben Amorim. Good slide challenge there by Luke Shaw. Zirkzee turns away from trouble. Again, a challenge one. Casemiro feeds it to Mason Mount on the left-hand side. Mason Mount, ball into the box again. Well defended by Tyreek Mitchell. Amad Diallo, cleared away by Crystal Palace. Anywhere will do. Good defending there once again. Well, United are almost relying on balls in the box. Overloads at the far stick. Here's Mount. Luke Shaw. Onto the left-hand side for Diogo Dalot. Shaw again. 25 minutes on the clock. Crystal Palace have had the better of the early exchanges here. From Manchester United's point of view, the best case scenario, still 0-0. Very strong play there by Maxence Lacroix in the pass. Nearly finds Ismail Assar. And once Sarr is through on goal, he's impossible to catch. Such a risky pass there by San Lamens. Wharton nips it over. And here's Daniel Munoz on the right-hand side. Comical defending by Manchester United. San Lamens pushes it away at the far stick. Oh, what a block that is. Lenny Yoro keeps it at 0-0. Manchester United in 6s and 7s at the back. And now they have an opportunity with a counter-attack. Brilliant pass there by Fernandes. Well intercepted there by Tyreek Mitchell. Well, Crystal Palace are banging on the door here. Just feels like a matter of time before they score. Again, looking very rash defensively. Manchester United lunging in. And Crystal Palace just rolling the challenges. Adam Wharton just conducting the orchestra in the middle of the park. Good ball there. Maxence Lacroix, safety first approach, concedes the corner for Manchester United. Again, what a block this was from Lenny Yoro. It was so poor from Manchester United, really. Good ball in. And having got there, San Lamens, his punch had no venom on it. Yeremy Pino thought that he was going to score there, but Lenny Yoro with a fantastic last-ditch block. Corner for Manchester United. Once again, it's the set-piece route by the looks of it. If Manchester United are to get the opening goal, it's going to be from these set pieces. Bruno Fernandes, once again eyeing for his targets. Casemiro, Lenny Yoro and De Ligt all there as Fernandes delivers. Good ball into the box. Punched away by Dean Henderson. Might be a foul there by Mason Mount, and it is. Can Crystal Palace defend their box very well? Mason Mount has just got the one Premier League goal so far. Again, there have been some rash challenges here from Manchester United. Luke Shaw has slid in on a couple of occasions. I'm surprised that Casemiro didn't pick up a yellow card. If they have, they haven't shown the graphic. Slight challenge on Adam Wharton in the previous attack. Manchester United going forward, looking like a very foreign outfit. By that I mean just players feel like they haven't played with each other. Despite having just one game a week, the way they play out the back is such a mess again. And somehow they get there. I mean, it's the minimum you ask your coach, isn't it? To the ability to play out the back. You've been there nearly a year and they don't look any closer than they did than they were under Erik ten Hag. Such a mess, it's such a panic, and every time they just rush to play the ball forward, almost playing off the cuff here. Here's Kamada driving forward. Good defending there by Matthijs de Ligt. Here's Mason Mount. Oh, lovely touch there, but again closed down by Adam Wharton brilliantly here. Look at the composure and the difference here between the two teams. Kamada on the slide finds Munoz. Brilliant bit of play there from Kamada. Wharton is asking a little too much there for Yeremy Pino. Throw in for Manchester United. Best case scenario for them is that it's still 0-0. Ruben Amorim would have seen his team being outplayed here. Some would wonder how he's still in the job. I wonder that too. I mean, probably more than half the fan base is pretty much done with him, but doesn't matter really because he still has the backing of the higher-ups. He speaks very well in press conferences. That's pretty much all the good that he's done in nearly 12 months. Here's Wharton. Again on his right foot. I'm surprised that he's decided for that floating ball. Xerxes under pressure does well to hold off the challenge. Mason Mount. Again, he's asking so much of Joshua Xerxes. That is not a good pass there by Mason Mount. Joshua Zirkzee almost looks like an isolated figure. He needs the two number 10s to be close to him. Here's Munoz. Finds Richards. Decides to go into the channel for Jean-Philippe Mateta to hold this against De Ligt. Again, De Ligt he somehow does well, but foul there by Jean-Philippe Mateta. 30 minutes on the clock. 0-0 at the early kickoff on Sunday. Got West Ham and Liverpool after this, and then at 10 p.m. India time, Chelsea versus Arsenal. My heart is beating out of my chest for that game. That is going to be a very, very hectic 90 minutes between the top and the second place team. Well, Chelsea are not second right now. City rather, got that late goal against Leeds United. They were 2-0 up, pegged back by Daniel Farke's team. And then in the 91st minute, Phil Foden scored his brace and the late winner, which means City are temporarily second. Here's Lenny Yoro. Finds Matthijs de Ligt. Goes back to Saint Lemens. Had to make a few saves here. Dean Henderson on the other end has had a more comfortable start to the first half. Again, Manchester United with the back five. Can they build out the back? Excellent forward press here. You can see Pino, Mateta and Ismail Assar right on each player, forcing Lemens to go along. And every time they do that, Crystal Palace will get the ball back. Get beautiful maneuvering here. It's Mateta on the left-hand side. He's got a runner in front of him. Jean-Philippe Mateta goes for the shot. Well blocked there by Matthijs de Ligt. Again, Mateta so strong to win the ball back. Needs to keep hold of the possession. He's done exactly that. Good play here. Mark Gahey finds Adam Wharton. Oh, brilliant pass here to Mateta. Oh, surely that's a foul and a penalty. That is terrible defending, really. It's Lenny Yoro who can have no complaints. The ball fizzed into the box. What a bit of control that was from Jean-Philippe Mateta after receiving a tough pass there from Adam Wharton. Turns away from trouble, and Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's had two massive opportunities, has a chance here from the spot. Oh, that's very poor there from Lenny Yoro. Well, Mateta, in the 3-3 draw against Bournemouth, scored with the penalty, missed in that very last opportunity which he skied over. That is as blatant as a penalty as you can see, and Saint Lemens will be up against Jean-Philippe Mateta here. Well, Mateta, two big opportunities in the match. Both well defended. 4 out of his last 5 pens have been saved. Most importantly, he's missed his last pen. That's why you could see Daniel Munoz just giving him that word of encouragement. It's Jean-Philippe Mateta up against Saint Lemens. Here's Mateta, rolls it to the bottom corner, sending Lemens the wrong way, and Crystal Palace have a deserved lead here at Selhurst Park. Brings out his trademark celebration of kicking the corner flag, and Crystal Palace are 1-0 up. Well, Jean-Philippe Mateta had 2 opportunities to open the scoring, but faultless from the spot. Ruben Amorim can have no complaints here. Very calm there by Jean-Philippe Mateta, sending Lemens the wrong way, depositing that into the bottom corner. Calmness personified from the French centre forward. And Manchester United can have no complaints. Glasner celebrates. And the Crystal Palace home crowd will be very happy with that one. Ooh, they're going to have a check whether or not it's a possible double touch here. And if that's the case, it might be chalked off here. Again, that angle does not really help. They'll have to really zoom in. Is Manchester United going to get a lifeline here? If that's the case, they are so fortunate. Is that going to be ruled out here? I think it is, for a possible double touch here from Jean-Philippe Mateta. Manchester United possibly catching life here. It's been cancelled out. Well, my oh my. Accident double touch there from Jean-Philippe Mateta, who doesn't really complain. And Manchester United are so lucky. My goodness me. Jean-Philippe Mateta. Again, that front leg is far too ahead, isn't it? Yep, clear double touch there. Oh, United are so lucky. Is this the kind of game that Manchester United might just snake away? But it's going to be take 2 of the penalty. Jean-Philippe Mateta will be under pressure. You can see because of the cold, it looks like the steam coming out of his head. He has take 2 here and another opportunity. It's Mateta! Sends Clemens the wrong way again. Jean-Philippe Mateta gives Crystal Palace the lead, has an opportunity to do the celebration again. This time Crystal Palace do have the lead. Second time fortunate, Lenny Yoro would have been hoping that the penalty would have been saved, but no such let-off for him. Jean-Philippe Mateta giving Crystal Palace the lead. Well, they completely deserve it. Even the most ardent Manchester United fan will not complain about it. They've been nowhere near. You can see Jean-Philippe Mateta's left foot getting away from the action this time. Well, Saint-Lamens been sent the wrong way on both occasions. One of the Crystal Palace fans couldn't bear to watch. And Jean-Philippe Mateta scores for Crystal Palace. And now Manchester United have to come out and attack. They cannot play the way that they have in the first 30 minutes. Saint-Lamens had 2 opportunities to try and save the Mateta penalty. And now Crystal Palace looking for the second here immediately. Here's Jean-Philippe Mateta, cleverly done on the left-hand side. Ooh, Yeremy Pino loses his balance. Oh my word, that's a lunging challenge there by Amad Diallo. And fortunately for him, the foul has been given against Crystal Palace. And it seems that Ismail Assar will not be able to continue here. Eddie Nketiah will replace the Senegalese international. It's a real shame for Ismail Assar, who tried to carry on after that challenge by Diogo Dalot on him. Might be a bit precautionary here from Oliver Glasner. Yep, Eddie Nketiah, of course, formerly of Arsenal colours, has scored some big goals for Crystal Palace. Of course, scored that late equaliser winner against Liverpool, wasn't it? In the 96th or 97th minute winner. And from there, it was almost a catalyst, a turning point for Liverpool's shocking drop of form. Here's Luke Shaw. Again, down that left-hand side, Manchester United have had nothing really. Mason Mount, Luke Shaw and Diogo Dalot haven't done much. On the right-hand side, hasn't been too much either. But they do have a few more game-changing players on that right-hand side with Amad Diallo and Brian Mbeumo. Joshua Zirkzee hasn't had a shot yet. Again, these channel balls is asking so much from the attackers. Zirkzee does well, but he's been crushed. Feeds it onto the right-hand side for Daniel Munoz. Now motoring forward is the Colombian. Keeps it short here. Adam Wharton tries to just turn away from trouble. Here's Kamada. Manchester United on the back foot here. Ball into the box. Cleared away by Luke Shaw. Falls to Tyreek Mitchell. Gets away from Brian Mbeumo. Feeds that onto the left-hand side. Cross comes into the box. Cleared away. Mbeumo can clear. Here's Joshua Zirkzee. Onto the right-hand side. Here's Amad Diallo. Again, no one's really taking on their players here. Mbeumo might change that. He's been crowded out again. Throw in for Manchester United. Into the 40th minute. Manchester United from open play have been very disappointing. Completely blunt. I mean, yes, they're missing the likes of Benjamin Šeško and Mateus Cunha, but expecting a lot more from a £50 million signing in Mason Mount and Joshua Zirkzee. Well, Diogo Dalot replaced Patrick Dogu in the lineup. Throw in taken. Again, it's cleared away. Richards has been safety first approach from the American centre-back. Another corner here for Manchester United. 5 minutes plus added on time remaining here in this first half. Matthijs de Ligt trying to attack here the box. We've seen Bruno Fernandes with most of the set pieces so far. It's going to be Brian Mbeumo's left-footed ball into the box here from the far side. Dean Henderson trying to have an aggressive starting position, but he's been again not challenged here. Nobody's putting any sort of pressure. Mbeumo delivers, easily cleared. Cushion header there by Bruno Fernandes to Amad Diallo. Again, the ball has to go wide quickly. Instead, Fernandes changes it. Ball into the box, punched away by Henderson, and it's Diogo Dalot on his right foot. Somehow finds Joshua Zirkzee, who's kept the ball in. And by hook or by crook here, Manchester United flat the ball in. Well defended. Dalot on his left foot, cleared away. Manchester United playing a speculative game here of balls in the box. They've all been cleared away. Luke Shaw being put under pressure, does very well there. Here's Amad Diallo on the right-hand side. Manchester United finally playing with a bit of intensity here. Bruno Fernandes. Well, it's a shot in anger from the skipper. Ball sat up nicely after his first touch. Decided to go with the thunderous attempt from distance. It sat up nicely. Adam Wharton doing the right thing of putting the pressure on the Manchester United captain. And very disappointing first half here from Manchester United. They have to work the keeper a lot better. Forget working the keeper. They have to play better, don't they? I mean, yes, results will go against you and sure, but at least you need something like a performance to hang on to. If your performances are bad and the results are terrible, Ruben Amorim really is walking the plank here. Mason Mount has had an anonymous game as that left-sided number 10. And Ruben Amorim has said on multiple occasions that he will not change, and it's up to his squad to adapt to his tactics and techniques. Very hard to put faith in you, especially considering the last 12 months the Portuguese has had. A lot of clubs might have got rid of him last summer. This summer rather, after last season's performance. But he somehow kept his job despite being 15th in the league and losing the Europa League final. Seems that Manchester United are trusting the process. That's a term that I'm not a big fan of, unless you really see something. Here's Lenny Yoro, man who's conceded the pen. Again, Manchester United cannot build out the back. They really cannot. Got plenty of evidence. It's looking very rushed in those situations. Playing off-the-cuff football doesn't really work. Playing long balls to the three giants that Crystal Palace have at the back. Joshua Zirkzee is going to get absolutely no change from it. Almost feel for the centre forward there. Again, playing long. Crystal Palace. What is that? 3 clean sheets in the last 4 games against Manchester United. Oliver Glasner seems to have the measure of Manchester United, one of his favourite opponents. Again, Matthijs de Ligt. Decent header there. Joshua Zirkzee, very good pass there for Brian Mbeumo. Mark Gahey decides not to engage. Mbeumo takes his touch behind. Here's Casemiro to Luke Shaw. Final minute of normal time here. Mason Mount, Diogo Dalot. Again, patterns on the left-hand side finally emerging for Manchester United. Mason Mount's pass is errant. Cleared away. Recycle time here for Manchester United. Here's Matthijs de Ligt. Finds Lenny Yoro. Again, where are the options here for Manchester United? Zirkzee does very well. Ooh, that's surely a foul there by Casemiro. He's had a couple of rash challenges. He hasn't picked up a yellow card so far, which is very surprising. I mean, how is that not a yellow card? It's 2 challenges on Adam Wharton. And I'm surprised he hasn't picked up a yellow card yet. Oliver Glasner will be asking the same question. How is Casemiro still not without a booking here? Well, Crystal Palace have a goal advantage. They've had to make a substitution. Eddie Nketiah coming on for Ismail Assar. A precautionary substitution. 5 minutes of added on time. Oh, good knockdown there, risky. It's Yeremy Pino, brilliant bit of skill, and De Ligt on the slide. Brilliant there from the Dutchman. He had to get that spot on. Was that Luke Shaw rather? Brilliant interception there. Again, Crystal Palace powerful there, overpowering Manchester United. Brilliant play on the left-hand side. Tyrick Mitchell has an opportunity to square it. It's good defending there. Casemiro reads that brilliantly. There's a Crystal Palace player still on the ground here. Might be Yeremy Pino. Lovely pass there by Casemiro to Brian Mbeumo. An opportunity to try and isolate his fullback. Eddie Nketiah, brilliant there. Works tirelessly for Bruno Fernandes to deliver. A nothing ball really from the skipper. Cleared away. Manchester United with the first real sustained period of attack. And it's taken them a good part of 46 minutes for that to happen. Here's Luke Shaw. Onto the left-hand side. Mason Mount. Keeps it short here. Luke Shaw again. Clips that to pretty much no one. Again, the quality on the ball from Manchester United really lacking there. Here's Matthias de Ligt. Every time Crystal Palace are in that channel, they're so dangerous. It's Manchester United. And there is an overload in the box too. Palace are committing bodies in the box. Just feel like that second goal will come with their next attack. Here's Casemiro. He's definitely walking a tightrope now. His next challenge will definitely earn him a booking. Here's Luke Shaw. Finds Mason Mount, who's dropping deep. Decent pass here for Bruno Fernandes. Here's Diogo Dalot. The two Portuguese combine here. Good play on the left-hand side. Dalot clips the ball into the box. Again, this well defended. Adam Wharton clears. Eddie Nketiah gets his header on it. Oh, Yeremy Pino tries a little clever pass. Oh, brilliant pass there. He's lost his balance there. Matthias de Ligt and Eddie Nketiah is banging down on goal. Eddie Nketiah, oh, that's a terrible bit of finishing there. It's so predictable. Luke Shaw gets there in time. Oh, might be a foul there by Amad Diallo. Referee waves play on. Manchester United all over the shop here. Xerxes keeps the ball well. Fernandes shifts it onto the left-hand side. Here's Diogo Dalot. Again, where's the overlap? It happens on the right-hand side. Amad Diallo thought about the shot, clips it into the box instead. It's Diogo Dalot thought about the shot. Munoz clears. Well, Matthias de Ligt would have had his heart in his mouth there. Eddie Nketiah not too quick to get his shot away. Well, 3 minutes of stoppage time has been played in the first half. Manchester United so fortunate that the scoreline is just 1-0. Brian Mbeumo not good again. That is, they've taken no care of the ball in the final third. Here's Lenny Yoro. Onto the right-hand side. Amad Diallo thought about the cross, decides against it. Matthias de Ligt. Manchester United playing at a pedestrian pace here. Luke Shaw. Good turn there by Dalot. Here's Mason Mount on the left-hand side. Goes on the outside. Ball into the box. Again, this is meat and drink for Crystal Palace defenders. They'll deal with that all day long. Here's Fernandes. Nice pass onto the right-hand side for Amad Diallo. Asking a lot from the Ivorian, who somehow keeps the ball in play. Brian Mbeumo, clever turn. Oh, it's a needless foul again. This time it's Yeremy Pino. They cannot be conceding free kicks like that. Well, Yeremy Pino's ball, that was so poor there by Matthias de Ligt. And Eddie Nketiah almost telegraphing his shot. He doesn't even get his shot away. That's how poor that was from Eddie Nketiah. Luke Shaw with a couple of critical last-ditch interceptions. Final minute of added on time here in the first half. Maybe the last chance for United to try and draw a level heading into the half-time break. This first half has been all about Crystal Palace, but United can hit them with a dagger here. Bruno Fernandes looking to deliver this ball into the box. Surely the last action before the halftime whistle as Fernandes delivers. What is that? That is so poor there from Bruno Fernandes. I mean, he's gone for power, not the float here. And Yeremy Pino has dispossessed the ball. Oh, that is not a foul. I have to see this again. Bruno Fernandes is so fortunate. He's going to try and exaggerate this because he knows that he's been caught there. And that just might be the last attack and the last incident of what has been a successful first half for Crystal Palace. The camera pans to Lenny Yoro, who shakes his head. He was the one who made that rash challenge in the box. Well, Jean-Philippe Mateta, with his first penalty, had an accidental double touch. They had to retake the pen. But Jean-Philippe Mateta was nerveless from the spot. Crystal Palace thoroughly deserving a 1-0 advantage heading into half-time. And Manchester United, well, they've done very little in that first half. It can only get better, doesn't it, in the second. But Crystal Palace have had more than the few opportunities to really punish Manchester United. Matthijs de Ligt on a couple of occasions has looked very shaky at the back. Eddie Nketiah, of course, came on for Ismail Assar in the first half. Could have added the second, but he really did take an age to get his shot away. Manchester United have had to rely on set pieces and balls in the box to get shots and efforts on goal. Casemiro has come the closest on 2 occasions. But other than that, Manchester United toothless in attack. Again, this is where you have to see Ruben Amorim make halftime changes. If he gets the same team out for the second half, it just sends the worst possible message throughout your entire team, really, that you can serve up whatever kind of performance you want and you'll still keep your place in the side. I mean, imagine this. You play against 10 men Everton on Monday. Everton get a needless red card. United so fortunate to play against 10 men for most of the first and the entirety of the second half. And just the 2 changes made, I mean, that is a red flag if you ever seen one. And the changes he made was Lenny Yoro coming on for Mazraoui and Dalot coming on for Patrick Dogu as the left wing back. I mean, first of all, Dalot isn't a left wing back. I don't know why Ruben Amorim keeps playing Dalot on there. Makes no sense whatsoever. You can see there, he has a lot of endeavor. You can see it's not for a lack of effort. He does try, but the lack of quality is apparent. And then, yeah, you make the change for Mazraoui, for Lenny Yoro. Everybody else keeps their place in the team, sends such a wrong message. And it shouldn't shock anyone that Manchester United are where they are. They're going to be sliding down the table even more. And if they're not careful, this could be another ugly season for them. Let's have a look at their bench. I mean, yes, there's no Mateus Cunha and Benjamin Šeško, but you've got to make changes. I mean, someone in midfield like Kobbie Mainoo has to come on. Can he play as one of the number 10s? You can see Mason Mount. Again, endeavour, sure, but quality, very little on that left-hand side. Casemiro is fortunate that he's not been booked. Maybe Manuel Ugarte for him. I mean, yes, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel here for changes, but this is what Manchester United are. They have to do a lot better, and they really have been struggling. Well, I'll be back for the second half very shortly. Manchester United might have back-to-back defeats here at home to 10-men Everton, and this one away to Crystal Palace will be particularly damaging considering Palace played on Thursday. Manchester United had the entire week off and Crystal Palace have been all over them. Well, we're nearly there for the start of the second half. Manchester United have not played well in the first 45 here and have an opportunity to avoid back-to-back defeats in the league. Having dropped points to Everton, it would be, if they lose today or drop points, that would be 4 games without a victory. Draws against Nottingham Forest and Tottenham Hotspur, and then that defeat against Everton. So United are in a perilous position here. Again, if Ruben Amorim does not make a change, this is really looking long for him. Eugene says that United will make it. It's just a matter of time. It's more of hope rather than expectation, isn't it, Eugene? Nothing on the pitch suggests that Manchester United are anywhere close to being back. But it looks like there won't be a change here. The camera following Ruben Amorim here. He is under pressure. As it stands, Jean-Philippe Mateta had 2 attempts on his penalty. The first one, an accidental double touch, which got them to take that pen again, which he sent Saint-Lamens the wrong way on both occasions. Again, where are the changes, Ruben Amorim? You cannot look at that first half and says run it back. You cannot be doing that. You're putting yourself under so much pressure. Well, the players are out for the start of the second half. Crystal Palace had a few chances to make it 2-0. They kept it at 1, which means that Manchester United are still in this match somehow. The final checks have been complete and we're off and running for the start of the second half. Manchester United 1-0 down, courtesy of the Jean-Philippe Mateta penalty in the first half. Manchester United very lucky that the scoreline was just the 1-0. Attacking wise, they've offered very little against this Crystal Palace defence. Saint-Lamens has to make a couple of saves, one of Kamada and one of Adam Wharton. But other than that, he has tried to be as secure as possible, especially with his ball at his feet. Manchester United need to build out the back here in the second half. At some point, Crystal Palace may tire considering their midweek exploits, but Manchester United need quality more than anything else. Again, very surprising that Ruben Amorim decided not to make a change at half-time. Given away by Xerxes. Pino pinches the ball away. Good challenge there by Casemiro. Here's Brian Mbeumo. Sweeps it onto the right-hand side for Amad Diallo. Manchester United looking for a fast start here in the second half. Casemiro strike. It's on target. Comfortable save there for Dean Henderson. With the sun in his eyes. He's got a cap on. Better there from Manchester United. Casemiro's first time effort. Nice curl on it, but not enough venom. Here's Wharton. Pino. Kamada. Here's Mitchell. Kamada again. Mark Gahey. You can see the centre-backs now pushing up. Oh, that's a poor pass there by Daichi Kamada. Manchester United had a couple of hairy moments at the back. Matthijs de Ligt on a couple of occasions really did not cover himself in glory. Luke Shaw made some brilliant blocks to keep it at 1-0. Again, can Manchester United build here? Luke Shaw. Again, it's a long ball into the channel. He's asking so much from Joshua Xerxes. This is not the right tactic here. Maxence Lacroix does well to prevent the corner. Throw in for Manchester United, who have relied on set pieces and throw-ins really to try and get their efforts on target. Joshua Xerxes having a thankless task here of trying to hold off against 3 big centre halves. It's a throw-in for Manchester United. Diogo Dalot. Looking to chuck this one into the box. Good flat delivery, headed away by Jean-Philippe Mateta. Luke Shaw heads that back into the danger area. Cleared away. Amad Diallo is last man. Decides to go all the way back to Saint-Lamens. Well, Ruben Amorim has not looked at his bench in that half-time team talk. Pretty much putting so much faith in this team, which really will bite him on the backside if this carry on. I mean, the lack of quality really is concerning if you are a Manchester United fan. Here's Luke Shaw. Mason Mount. He's asking so much from Dalot again. Crystal Palace pinched the ball comfortably. Mason Mount. He's got the throw in for Manchester United. Again, if you're someone like Kobbie Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte, you are really looking at a way out of Manchester United, because however poorly Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro play in midfield, the manager is hell-bent on playing his two pivot players. So Kobbie Mainoo, considering his Manchester United have just one game a week here, just sees that so much limited game time here. Bryan Mbeumo, he's been Manchester United's only real shining light going forward. He was pretty ineffective. I mean, he's a touchline winger who's been asked to play as that right-sided number 10. A lot of square pegs and round holes if you're looking at it from an objective point of view. Here's De Ligt. Mbeumo, Casemiro, Xerxes, nice play there for Manchester United. Here's Bryan Mbeumo, feeds it onto the right-hand side for Amad Diallo, tries to go on the outside. Oh, that's a poor cross in on his weaker right foot. Hits the side netting, and it's the goal kick for Crystal Palace. Better this from Manchester United, playing with a lot more intensity, getting their passing right, but the quality in the final third still lacking as the Ivorian wingback tries to feed that centrally here. Crystal Palace will be looking to extend their run of clean sheets against Manchester United here. 5 minutes into the second half. Palace yet to get going. I know that they've done enough in that first half. And look at the difference between Joshua Xerxes and Jean-Philippe Mateta in terms of presence as that number 9. Jean-Philippe is a real battering ram. Throw in for Crystal Palace. Chris Richards, the American centre-back, comes across to fling this into the box. Tony Pulis might be watching the Premier League with the tears in his eyes. He was so ahead of his time, wasn't it? With introducing those long throw-ins. Football does come full circle at some point as Richards chucks this one into the box. It's not cleared away. It's a real melee, and Manchester United somehow get the clearance there. Adam Wharton pinches the ball ahead of Mason Mount. Xerxes plays the ball forward. Brilliant slide challenge there by Daniel Munoz. Brilliant. The Colombian, no hesitation in his mind to go lunging in there. Good decision too. Joshua Xerxes hasn't made the impact here. You can see good slide challenge there from Daniel Munoz, who's a real outlet on that right-hand side. It's been a better second half for Manchester United, but the floor was so low that it could only get better from there. Pino puts the ball into the box. Richards' header. Again, Bryan Mbeumo, foul there. It's a very good foul given there by Daniel Munoz. Manchester United look to get that quickly. It's Munoz again. Oliver Glasner would have looked at that first half. Huge smile on his face, because the way that his team have defended, controlled the game for large parts, would have pleased him a lot. Xerxes, again, having to deal with these long balls. It's not going to be easy for him. Dalot. Might be a foul there. It is Eddie Nketiah. Might pick up a yellow card here, Eddie Nketiah. Number 9 with a yellow card. Had a big opportunity right towards the end of that first half to add the second. It's a late challenge. It's a rash one there by Eddie Nketiah. Free kick here for Manchester United. Have tried to use set pieces as their route towards goal. Bruno Fernandes. Was to put the ball in. There's a substitute being readied at the back, and it's not the substitution that Manchester United were looking for. It's Nusayr Mazraoui who's waiting to come on here. Ball into the box. Clever there by Bruno Fernandes. Joshua Zirkzee fires that across, and from an impossible angle scores. And out of absolutely nothing, Manchester United have a route back here. The equaliser comes from the Dutchman. Oh, how did he squeeze that one in? Brilliant finish there from Joshua Zirkzee. And Manchester United are level. What an outstanding goal that was from Joshua Zirkzee. He is onside by a mile. This bit of control is good. What a finish that is. Dean Henderson, that is shocking keeping though. He's let that go. It's not at the near post. He's found the far corner. Outrageous goal there from Joshua Zirkzee, who had absolutely no right to score from there. Great bit of composure. Waits for the ball. Oh, that is so poor there from Dean Henderson. And Manchester United have an undeserved equaliser, but they'll absolutely take it. Dean Henderson, questionable goalkeeping there. The goal stands. Joshua Zirkzee scores. Well, Ruben Amorim was preparing a substitution. Nusayr Mazraoui was ready to come on, or whether or not he will proceed with the change, we'll wait and see. He is coming on. And it's Lenny Yoro who's been substituted. Yoro will feel that mistake that he made to concede the penalty was far too costly. You can see the substitute bench there, Lenny Yoro, with his head in hands. Well, now Manchester United with the route back in. Can they find a second goal here? Here's Amad Diallo. He's been robbed off the ball. Mitchell does well. Here's Pino. Foul there by Amad Diallo. That is a top finish there from Joshua Zirkzee though. I mean, talk about under pressure, needing a goal from somewhere. And it's been Manchester United and set pieces that they have relied on. 10 minutes into the second half. Crystal Palace haven't really got going in the second. It's Yeremy Pino who will deliver this ball into the box. Fades that away. Asking a lot from Mitchell. Munoz rather. Goal kick for Manchester United. Now Manchester United can settle in here. They've got a goal out of nothing. Now can they respond here? Brilliant goal by Zirkzee. Yes, the keeper should do better, but the belief and the confidence to take that shot and the execution on it was first class. Well, do United take a different approach here now that Mazraoui has come on? Good pass there, fire towards Eddie Nketiah. Here's Yeremy Pino. Clever pass there for Nketiah. And he's looking very lackadaisical in terms of receiving the ball. Good pass between the lines. Here's Eddie Nketiah, gets away from the challenge. Thought about the shot. That is not a good attempt there from Eddie Nketiah. Good play there from Maxence Lacroix. Lovely turn there. Might be a foul there by Amad Diallo. He's committed a couple of fouls. Has to be careful to avoid a booking. And Eddie Nketiah taking a shot from distance on that occasion. It's a completely different player to Ismail Assar. More of a number 9. Playing as that right-sided number 10 for Oliver Glasner. Another free kick opportunity here for Crystal Palace. It's Yeremy Pino. Again, looking for that fade ball towards the far stick. Manchester United, from their point of view, have to make sure that they don't concede. Ball into the box. He's been pushed away. A free header chance. Oh my goodness me. Somehow the ball stays out. Manchester United at 6s and 7s. It seems that Joshua Zirkzee has got the last touch and he nearly directs that into his own net. It was Mazraoui's effort. Clearance rather. came off Xerxes. San Lamens was rooted to the spot. United very, very fortunate. Very fortunate there. Corner for Crystal Palace. You can see Jean-Philippe Mateta just urging his team here. Wharton's ball in, cleared away by Matthias de Ligt. The sun has finally set at Selhurst Park. Good control there from Richards. Wharton's header. Maxence Lacroix tries to keep the attack going. He does brilliantly here. I think Daniel Munoz is offside and the flag has been raised. Ruben Amram. Pleased with the way that his team have come out here in the first 15 in the second half. Playing with better intensity, a bit more quality. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Again, these are the kind of positions that Crystal Palace won't mind the Manchester United skipper picking up. Here's Luke Shaw driving with the ball forward. Poor bit of play there from Luke Shaw. Gives the ball away as Henderson clears. Oh, Fernandes, what are you trying to do there? But somehow keeps the ball in play. Composed play there from Casemiro. Here's Matthias de Ligt. Now Fernandes. Trying to take responsibility here. Get as much of the ball as possible and try and dictate from deep. Here's Mason Mount. Feeds it onto the left-hand side. Well defended there by Maxence Lacroix. Into the 60th minute. Manchester United making a better fist of this match here. De Ligt. Oh, that's a poor pass there from the Dutchman. Yep, into the 60th minute. Bruno Fernandes with the assist for the goal. Clever identification that Joshua Xerxes had just peeled away onto the left-hand side. Having got there, Xerxes had no right to score, which he does in brilliant fashion. United are leaning heavily on set pieces here. From open play, have struggled to really test Dean Henderson. Henderson trying a bit of time wasting here. There's still half an hour still to be played. Far too early for time wasting to happen here. De Ligt wins the header. And Mbeumo. Casemiro wins that, but he hits that against his own teammate. Luke Shaw steps in. Manchester United looking very sluggish here. It's Mateta. Mateta's effort on his left foot. It's well wide. He was there to shoot. Well, Manchester United leading the inquest here as to how that ball squirmed its way to Jean-Philippe Mateta. Again, Luke Shaw and Casemiro getting caught there. That's a definite foul there by Eddie Nketiah. Manchester United might have gotten that decision in their favour if that one curled into the top corner on his left foot. Here's Lamens. Onto the left-hand side for Luke Shaw. Again, it's a channel ball for Joshua Xerxes. Good header there. It's Diogo Dalot on the left-hand side. Oh, surely a foul right at the edge of the box. Well, Route 1 football working for Manchester United. It's Mark Gahey who right at the edge of the box concedes the free kick. Brilliant run there from Diogo Dalot. We talked about his endeavour down that left-hand side. Definite foul there by Mark Gahey, who stands his ground, but you cannot make that challenge. Again, a free kick here for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes' eyes will be lighting up here. It's on that left-hand side, just at the edge of the box. Mason Mount is showing a bit of interest too. Mount has scored 2 free kicks for Chelsea, if my memory serves correctly. One under Frank Lampard against Wolves in the final game of the season to secure top 4. And then one against Aston Villa under Graham Potter. If there's any more, might have missed that out. Oh, taking it quickly here. Shot from distance. It's 2-1 to Manchester United. It is Mason Mount. Crystal Palace fall asleep and Manchester United turn this around in the second half. It's another shot from distance. Dean Henderson at goal has to be questioned here. He's been beaten on both occasions from questionable shots. And Crystal Palace find themselves down a goal. Ruben Amorim has seen his side turn it around. Mason Mount from distance. Again, this is very, very poor from Crystal Palace. Everybody falling asleep. Oh, that is so poor from Dean Henderson, who steps into a central position. And then he's in no man's land. Mason Mount just trying to sneak that into this far corner. And he's done exactly that. Poor goals conceded by Crystal Palace. And Manchester United, who was staring down the barrel after that first 45 minutes, now might be sneaking their way up the table to take Crystal Palace's place in 6th position. Mason Mount scores his 2nd goal in the league. And that one, a big, big goal. Again, the quality of goals will really, really frustrate Oliver Glasner. And now it's up to Crystal Palace to turn this one around. Manchester United popping the ball with a lot more confidence here. Joshua Zirkzee has given it away to Adam Wharton. Another bite of the cherry here. Finds Mason Mount. Switches it on to the right-hand side for Amad Diallo. Instant control there from the Ivorian. Goes on the inside. Brilliant bit of skill. Amad Diallo. It's well over. Manchester United now playing with a swagger that was missing in the first half. Ruben Amorim, under tremendous amount of pressure in the second half, has seen his side really turn up in the first 20 in the second. The Manchester United fans finally have something to cheer about. Amad Diallo with direct play as wing back. He's got a shot on him. How do Manchester United now play the second half here? Oh, they've given it away. It's Brian Mbeumo, and if he gets his control right, Crystal Palace in all sorts of trouble here. Complete turnaround in the second half. Palace have dipped a couple of levels. You can see Oliver Glasner absolutely fuming. Having seen his side be so good in the first half, the second half has gone polar opposite. Well, Eugene, fair play to you. You did say that Manchester United will turn this around. I didn't see that in the first half. There was no evidence really. But two unlikely goal scorers, two unlikely shots sneaking past Dean Henderson. Well, the ex-Manchester United player lending a huge helping hand, but Crystal Palace falling asleep at the free kick is really schoolboy stuff. Here's Kamada on the right-hand side. Again, nobody marking him here. Chance for the cutback. And Crystal Palace entered the Manchester United box far too comfortably there, but the offside flag has been raised. Yep, clear offside there. Ruben Amorim will be feeling a whole lot better now. Just the one change made by the Portuguese manager. Lenny Yoro coming off. Mark Guehi under pressure. Does very well. Extremely composed there. Yeremy Pino tries the reverse pass. Well defended there by Luke Shaw. Aggressive positioning from the centre-back. Richards gets the head of Mount. Throw in for Crystal Palace. Well, Manchester United are capable of turning it on here, but it's a question of consistency. Here's Munoz. Mateta, surely a foul there by De Ligt. It is. Jean-Philippe Mateta does very well to hold that off. It's a foul and a free kick for Crystal Palace. Yep, clear foul there. Head-on-head collision. Joshua Zirkzee and Mason Mount's goals mean that now Manchester United can play a lot more settled, a lot more calmer after that horror first half. Free kick here for Crystal Palace. It will be Yeremy Pino to take this one. Floats that towards the fast stick once again for Richards. Gets his header to it. Manchester United should be able to clear. Ooh, and Mbeumo's taken a risk. Mazraoui should be able to mop up, but it's straight to Adam Wharton. Here's Mark Gahey. Here's Kamada. Mops up nicely for Mitchell. Dean Henderson. He's ditched the cap now. But he's seen two unlikely efforts beat him. Again, it's Richards who's well forward. Mark Gahey now. Right-footed ball into the box. Header is not on target. It just goes wide from Eddie Nketiah. Oliver Glasner absolutely seething at the touchline there. There's an opportunity for Crystal Palace to move up the table. Manchester United having turned things around. Now taking Crystal Palace's place in 6th position. That's how tight things are from 6th to 11th and even 12th. If you go on a run of games, see Aston Villa, the first 5 or 6 games, they could not get a win. They could not even buy a goal. And you can see how tremendously well Unai Emery has turned things around there, which will give the likes of Ruben Amorim, Arne Slot, and even Thomas Frank a bit of encouragement, knowing that a run of 3 or 4 wins and suddenly you can be in business. Palace have not turned up in the second half here. It might be because of the exhaustion, having played in midweek. They have looked very much second best in the second half. Here's Gay. Adam Wharton under pressure. Oh, Kamada's taken a risk. And it's Casemiro's foul. Well, that's the 3rd foul that Casemiro has made. Yet to be booked. Here's Mark Gahey now. Right-footed ball in. Mazraoui waiting for his keeper. And the keeper does arrive. In the second half, Crystal Palace have not gotten out of first gear here. It's almost like they're still basking from the glory of the first half. A lot has happened since then. 70 minutes on the clock. United completing the turnaround here. And Mbeumo's foul on Mark Gahey. Now Crystal Palace playing with a bit of intensity here. Kamada. Mitchell. United are pressing like absolute craziness here. That was totally missing in the first half. Again, Palace playing out the back. Fernandes does very well. Last touch might have come off Munoz. It has. Throw in for Manchester United. Completely different United side in the second half here. But Ruben Amorim clearly sending rockets in the halftime team talk. Manchester United players, to their credit, have responded well. Well, does Oliver Glasner now look at his bench here, try and shake things up? Eddie Nketiah, since coming on, hasn't made the same impact, doesn't have the same running power as Ismail Assar. Good pass there by Casemiro. Dalot, Mason Mount, Dalot again. Oh, brilliant bit of skill and gets away from Richards. If that's a dive, it should be a yellow card, but fortunately for Dalot, it's not in the box. It looked like a foul. Play goes on. Let's have a look here. Clever from Mason Mount. Again, he dangles his foot. It's a theatrical dive there from Diego Dalot. Foul hasn't been given. The yellow card has been given to Luke Shaw and not Diogo Dalot for the dive. They were showing the replay, so we don't know why Luke Shaw did pick up the yellow card. Might be a foul there. Yep, it's a clear foul on Eddie Nketiah. Free kick for Crystal Palace. Here's Richards. Gets away from Mason Mount. Here's Munoz. Finds Adam Wharton. Clip pass onto the right hand side. Mazraoui. Good defending. Mitchell gets there first, but his touch is a bit too heavy, and it's a throw in for Manchester United. Defending that situation very well.
Well, Nusair Mazraoui, since his introduction in the second half, was ready to come on when Manchester United got that free kick. It's the first goal, really, wasn't it? That he was just about to come on. Yep. It was a Joshua Zirkzee goal. Might have thought that maybe he would have kept the substitution. And the long ball forward. Oh, Brian Mbeumo has made the run. You can see Mbeumo starting a lot more wider here, which is pretty much his natural position, and has the opportunity to try and run at. That is absolutely crazy here from Dean Henderson. I mean, he's got a cap, he's got a bottle of Vaseline. What else has he got going here? It's far too much accessories for a goalkeeper. Good header there by Matthijs de Ligt. Finds Mason Mount. Joshua Zirkzee, the man who sparked the comeback for Manchester United. To Bruno Fernandes. Onto the right-hand side. Here's Mazraoui. Amad Diallo. Ryan Mbeumo's in the box. Diallo does very well. Oh, that's another foul there by Mark Gahey. Crystal Palace in this second half have been shocking here. Mark Gahey getting turned comfortably here. It's a yellow card for the skipper. Clear foul. And it's a nothing challenge really from Mark Gahey. Crystal Palace have not woken up in the second half. It's been all Manchester United. You can see Maxence Lacroix almost encouraging his captain to let that go and focus here. Manchester United with 2 set pieces have capitalized and turned this game around. Can they add the third and a bit of daylight in the second half? No one really saw coming, considering what we saw in the first 45. Manchester United, with their set pieces, have been very effective. Bruno Fernandes has 2 assists, mind you. Looking for a hat-trick of assists. Ball into the box, cleared away by Mitchell. It's not cleared. Manchester United keep it alive. Diogo Dalot shoots that and it's well over. Well, Dean Henderson. Well, you're looking at the highlights or the replay of the second goal. It's so bad. I mean, Dean Henderson has only himself to blame for this. I mean, he's trying to adjust his wall. They've taken it quickly. He's been beaten at the near side. Not good whatsoever. Good strike there by Mason Mount. To be fair, Zirkzee and Mount's shots have been excellent. But the keeper has to do better. This is the top level, and you expect a whole lot better from your goalkeeper. Well, the 30 minutes into the second half have been all Manchester United. Brilliant challenge there. Again, Manchester United playing with an intensity that was missing in the first half. Now looking to switch the play on. And Mbeumo might get there first. Oh, what are you doing there, Mark Gahey? They've somehow kept the ball. Brian Mbeumo, good dummy. And it's an effort straight. Had Dean Henderson, Mark Gahey's head's gone here. This is not good from the skipper. Oh, that is so bad. And I mean, he's on a yellow card. He could have made it worse. Really is struggling here now. Oh my word. Mark Gahey, what are you doing? He's looking at 6s and 7s here. Somehow Palace do manage to get that away. Strong play this from Jean-Philippe Mateta. Yeremy Pino, edge of the box. The foul has been given in the favour of Manchester United. That's excellent from Nusair Mazraoui, using his experience, leaning in to Jean-Philippe Mateta. Well, the double change had to come a little bit sooner from Oliver Glasner's point of view. He is going to make it. I think Daichi Kamada will be coming off for Will Hughes. It's been pretty much anonymous, the Japanese midfielder. It's not Kamada, it's Adam Wharton coming off. Surprising change here for Crystal Palace. Yeremy Pino coming off too. Oof. This is very bold from Oliver Glasner, but he had to make a couple of substitutions. Uche and Hughes both coming on here. Looks like Oliver Glasner has not gone for reputation and he's gone for performances in the second half. He would have not been pleased with some of the players. He's almost made a statement here, taking off his number 10, Yeremy Pino, and Adam Wharton, their best midfielder. Here's Mazraoui. Casemiro. Goes back to San Lamens. He's not had any saves to make in the second half. The young Belgian goalkeeper. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Joshua Zirkzee really has played so much better in the second half. Zirkzee is getting the ball to stick and really combining well with his forwards. Here's Luke Shaw. Got a huge part of keeping the game at 1-0 with those big blocks in the first half. Here's Matthijs de Ligt. Finds Mazraoui. Again, it's another channel pass. And Mbeumo right at the back of Gehiv. He deals with that nicely. Lovely turn there from Jean-Philippe Mateta, showcasing his strength. Mazraoui defends that well. Fernandes' touch is heavy. Will Hughes was really eyeing that, but Manchester United very much on it here. The touch is heavy, and now on the right-hand side, Bruno Fernandes feeds it to Amad Diallo. Here's Diallo. Casemiro. Now Bruno Fernandes, no pressure on him. Slowing the game down completely. Manchester United still need a cushion goal here. Game is still open. Crystal Palace in the second half. Well, this is what happens when you have European assignments on Thursday and then having to play on Sunday, the early kickoff. Your legs do give away if you don't rotate, especially in midweek. Again, a heavy touch. Manchester United have been all over Crystal Palace here. Dalot. And Mbeumo's on the left-hand side. Cross comes into the box. Punched away by Dean Henderson. Here's Mazraoui. Challenged there by Eddie Nketiah. That change really has hurt Crystal Palace. Ismail Assar could not continue. Eddie Nketiah nowhere near the levels. 10 minutes plus added on time here for United to get a massive 3 points here to take them 6th in the Premier League. Might be a foul there by Nusayr Mazraoui. It isn't. Oliver Glasner just slumped in his chair. He will know his team have been completely outplayed in the second half. Uche and Will Hughes have come on. Just feels that maybe the changes were made far too late. Here's Amad Diallo. United have made just the one change. It was a change in defense too, not in attack. Fernandes, Zirkzee, Fernandes again. Now pulling the strings here. The captain finds Bryan Mbeumo. Keeps it short. Here's Fernandes. In the channel. Good ball into the box. Attacked by Diogo Dalot. Falls to Mason Mount. Cleared away by Maxence Lacroix. It's a corner for Manchester United. Attacking the box a whole lot better here. Mason Mount just peeling away onto the edge of the box. Good first touch. Sets him up nicely. Is that Lisandro Martinez? It is. Well, what a change. And what a boost this would be for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim. Luke Shaw comes off for Lisandro Martinez. Now, I'm not sure when's the last time he's touched the pitch. Has that been a year for him since he last figured? This is a huge boost for Manchester United as the Argentine centre half will now be playing as the left-sided centre back. Martinez on for the final 8 plus stoppage time here. Manchester United looking for a goal which will seal all 3 points. Cross comes into the box. Henderson's on the floor here. And it's a foul spotted by the referee. It's Matthijs de Ligt who just shoves the goalkeeper there. It wasn't Matthijs de Ligt. It was Matthijs de Ligt's header. He did score from a similar angle in that last gasp equaliser against Tottenham Hotspur. What do Crystal Palace have for Manchester United in the final phase of the match here? United have played so much better. Brilliant from Joshua Zirkzee. Oh, outstanding bit of play from the Dutchman. Here's Mason Mount, switches it off. Mitchell's under pressure, heads that away well. Here's Kamada. And he's caught in a cul-de-sac here. Goes back to Dean Henderson. Under pressure, goes for the clearance. Here's Casemiro, finds Brian Mbeumo. United winning all of the first and the second balls here. Here's Amad Diallo. Casemiro finds Matthijs de Ligt. Crystal Palace's second half has been so disappointing. Fair play to Manchester United, weathering adversity and getting this position here. It could have been so ugly for Ruben Amorim if they didn't turn this around. Instead, a win here not just takes the pressure off, but gets Manchester United in heady waters at sixth here. Brian Mbeumo nearly curls that into the top corner. Again, rides a couple of challenges. Good play there from the Cameroonian. And you cannot show him on his left foot. Nobody closing him down here. And he just nearly curls that in. With Crystal Palace making yet another double substitution here. Daichi Kamada coming off for Jefferson Lerma. And Mitchell coming off again. Very poor second half for Tyreek Mitchell. Jefferson Lerma and Devaney coming on for Crystal Palace. Number 55. Whether or not he just slots in as that left-sided wing-back, we'll wait and see. You know that Oliver Glasner does like the structure. Diallo heads. Bruno Fernandes is jumping out of the challenge there. Again, Crystal Palace just looking all at sea here. Lovely touch there by Will Hughes. Spreads it on to Devaney on the left-hand side. Here's the substitute looking to make his first bit of impact. Oh, that's a poor ball into the box. Out for a goal kick for Manchester United. United 5 minutes plus stoppage time away from a massive 3 points away at Selhurst Park. Steve Parish, the boss of Crystal Palace, watching along this game, and he would have seen the second half and just shook his head like what Oliver Glasner would have done. United stepped up their intensity. Crystal Palace dropped theirs. And as a result, United turned this game around. Casemiro's been excellent in the second half. Him and Bruno Fernandes just imposing their authority in the midfield. Ucha trying to get there first. It's a throw in for Crystal Palace. Well, Palace have to throw the kitchen sink here. 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Might be a foul. It's a needless foul really on the substitute Ucha. I think that's Bruno Fernandes who has committed the foul. It's a free kick. It wasn't Fernandes, it was Casemiro. Surprised Casemiro has avoided a booking. That's his fourth or fifth foul. Free kick here for Crystal Palace, trying to salvage a draw after that excellent first half, but a horror show in the second as Will Hughes looks to deliver this ball into the box. Manchester United have had very little defending to do in the second half. Hughes to deliver. Poor ball. My goodness me. Munoz will look to switch this back to Hughes. Lack of quality here from Crystal Palace has been pretty abject in the second half. Good touch there. Might be offside. Yep, he is. Eddie Nketiah clearly offside. 3 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Oliver Glasner is going to pop a blood vessel here if this carries on. He'll be absolutely furious with the second half again. Look at Eddie Nketiah. He's just playing the game at zero intensity, really. Even when he had to take the shot in the first half, I mean, he took an age to get his shot away, which Luke Shaw comfortably blocked. Does not play with that required intensity. There's Brian Mbeumo. Eased off the ball there. Eddie Nketiah does well. Will Hughes holds off the challenge. Here's Mark Gahey. Now Crystal Palace looking to empty the tank here. Gahey finds Jefferson Lerma. Here's Maxence Lacroix. Richards. 2 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Manchester United nearly there from completing an unlikely turnaround from what we saw in the first half. But fair play to Ruben Amorim's men. They have turned up in the second half and thoroughly outplayed Crystal Palace. Devaney's ball. Good header there by Matthijs de Ligt. Crystal Palace finally winning second balls here. Just feels like far too late. Lerma somehow finds Richards. Onto the right hand side. Here's Munoz. Eddie Nketiah. It was Ucha rather. Hugging the touchline on the right hand side. Here's Lerma. Substitutes looking to add a bit of intensity here. Crystal Palace with a lot of the ball. Need to get this one into the box as quickly as possible. Hughes. Lovely touch there from him. Thought about the switch. Decides to keep it short to Lerma. Feeds it onto the right hand side. Here's Ucha. Munoz. Again, it's all Crystal Palace here, trying to be as patient as possible. Hughes turns away from the Casemiro challenge. Oh, that's reckless there from Bruno Fernandes. Play goes on. Surely they have to take the free kick there. Decides to keep possession. Here's Devaney. Mark Gahey. United have everyone behind the ball. Shuffling from side to side, looking to close down the spaces here. Here's Ucha. Again, Sandro Martinez just drops off. Here's Jefferson Lerma. Chris Richards now. Again, Crystal Palace going nowhere until Will Hughes now turns again. Good block there from Casemiro, and Lisandro Martinez just hacks that away. Hughes wins the first header. Bruno Fernandes missed clearance there. Here's Ucha. Oh, nearly slides that through for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Manchester United catching live there. Ucha's ball has to be better. Well intercepted. I think that is Diogo Dalot who got a crucial interception there. Bruno Fernandes was just going to clear this away. It could have been a comical goal to concede, really. Manchester United making a double substitution here with 4 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Patrick Dogu and Kobbie Mainoo coming on. Amad Diallo. His shift comes to an end, which means that Patrick Dogu will now be left wing back. And Diogo Dalot will be shifting onto the right hand side for stoppage time here. Kobbie Mainoo has replaced Brian Mbeumo. Kobbie Mainoo has had very little game time in the Premier League. He's just there for, we call this poverty minutes, isn't it? Mainoo coming on for Brian Mbeumo. Manchester United successfully running a minute of stoppage time here. Throw in coming for Crystal Palace. Substitute Jefferson Lerma. Chuck this one into the box. Good height on it. Richards' headers into the area. Oh, Eddie Nketiah gets in the way of Devaney. That one should have been for Devaney. Eddie Nketiah has to hear the shout there. Oh, that's very poor from Crystal Palace again. Just a lack of ideas. Ball sat up nicely. Eddie Nketiah, a nuisance there. Not for Manchester United, rather. Ooh, Bruno Fernandes is holding his hamstring here. We seldom see this from the Manchester United skipper. Just trying to rub this off. Could this be a long-term problem for the skipper? He feels that it's a kick on him rather than a pulled muscle. Doesn't get injured, does he, Bruno Fernandes? He is the Iron Man for Manchester United. Always available. Always plays with the intensity. 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Some will be added on after that for the substitutions made. Throw in for Crystal Palace, who have not tested Saint-Lemens in the second half. Take it short here. Cross comes into the box. Cleared away by Bruno Fernandes. Patrick Dogu will take the foul, and it's a yellow card for Jefferson Lerma. Manchester United nearly there. Quite a remarkable turnaround considering what we saw in the first half. 2 set-piece goals for Manchester United has overturned this result and propelling Manchester United to 6th position in the league. Well, Brighton can go ahead of Manchester United if they win their game. But United finding themselves at the heady heights of 6th after their early kickoff game here on Sunday. Trying to put that Everton result behind them as quickly as possible. We enter the final minute of stoppage time here. Dean Henderson looking for a quick move on. He'll feel mightily responsible for both goals conceded. Former Manchester United man. Here's Richards. Clip ball into the box. Good header there by Diogo Dalot. Will Hughes thought about the shot but decides to keep possession. Here's Maxence Lacroix, finds Chris Richards. Back to Lacroix. Here's Devaney. Floats the ball into the box, cleared away. Kobbie Mainoo, his first involvement, is a good clearance. Bruno Fernandes again can't get control of the ball here. Oh, brilliant bit of play here. Hughes, might be a foul at the edge of the box. It is Casemiro. With 94 minutes played, Crystal Palace have an opportunity right at the end to try and get the equaliser. Well, Casemiro, once again, you cannot get your hands on Hughes there, especially when he's ahead of you. Somehow Casemiro has avoided a booking. He's made 4 or 5 fouls. All of them have been waved away. And Crystal Palace have a perfect opportunity here. Well, they haven't done anything in open play. Can they get this free kick spot on here? Last chance in the match. We're well past the 94 minutes here. Saint-Lamens trying to organize his wall. Devaney might be interested with this free kick. Mason Mount under the wall in case they try something clever here. Crystal Palace fans at the edge of their seats here. This should be Will Hughes territory, but he's deferred it to the substitute. Devaney, 95 minutes on the clock here. Manchester United nearly there. Here's Devaney under the walls, cleared away. Manchester United waiting for the whistle. Still carrying on here, and the full-time whistle has been blown at Selhurst Park. Manchester United complete the turnaround after a horror first half. Bruno Fernandes with 2 assists. First one for Joshua Zirkzee, scoring from an unlikely angle to bring Manchester United back level in the 54th minute. And Mason Mount from a short free kick taken, edge of the box, squeezing one past Dean Henderson. Manchester United climb to 6th in the table, displacing Crystal Palace as Ruben Amorim gets another win ticked off, as Crystal Palace have thrown this away in the second half, nowhere near the levels that they were in the first. Full credit to Manchester United turning up in the second half and putting on a good performance. Dean Henderson should not be so pally-pally with the United players considering the nightmare that he dropped in the second half, but the Manchester United higher-ups breathing a huge sigh of relief, having turned around that first half. Well, Super Sunday has just begun here. Liverpool travel to London facing West Ham next. And then after that, we have the blockbuster match. Chelsea versus Arsenal. I will be doing the live stream for it, the watch-along. It's a game that nobody can miss out. First versus third coming up soon. Full time here at Selhurst Park. Manchester United turning it around. Eugene says, glory, glory, Manchester United. Enjoy that win, my friend. They completely deserve it considering the turnaround in the second half. Doing just enough to get all 3 points. Crystal Palace will be deflated there. Losing to Strasbourg midweek and now losing to Manchester United at the weekend. Full time here at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 1,